what's up? Hello. Welcome to Season 2 of Hack It Chat, the NBA's first podcast featuring a man who has a Papa John's sponsorship. That's me. I'm Chuck P. And with me, as always, is the 13 layers of hell, Dan Tays Inferno. Dan, what are we going to do today?
Oh, we are here to talk some hoops and tell you what happened to Harold Miner. Still.
Behind the MacBook, we have the anchor of our AV. That's Gyro.
It's nice to be here.
We're glad you showed up. We are so happy to be back. Season 2.
They didn't cancel us.
Yeah, we got renewed.
We got renewed.
Yeah, we were not put on hiatus.
We were, kind of.
Well, yeah, all right. So we had the off season.
We had like summer hiatus.
Look, sometimes we need time off too. And we're well rested. Kind of.
Yes.
And we're ready to go.
So here's the most exciting thing that's happening right now is
people
know that we're real people now.
Yeah.
I would imagine people listening to us thought we were only existing in audio world.
Uh-huh.
But now like we're real humans. Like I feel like I'm coming alive. Like so I was like looking at my hands. Like I feel like a robot coming to life for the first time and having artificial intelligence like really work its way through my whole body stream. So pretty natural, pretty cool.
In case you don't know what's going on, if you are just listening to the audio portion of our podcast, we have video now. You can see us.
Video.
We're in like a weird Brady Bunch thing. Am I up or down? Am I supposed to turn
in the
sideways?
bottom.
Also, we have new guest, Paul George, looking handsome as ever.
Hey, you should ask Paul a question and see if he answers.
Okay. Hey, Paul. How's your summer been?
There it is.
Nice.
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. He's real excited. He's had a good summer. I've had a good summer too. We've had a lot of stuff going on. Let's share a little bit about us. Dan, what have you done the last couple weeks?
Oh my
Catch us
gosh.
up, man.
So I think the biggest transition, as we talked about this, is moving out to Chicago and being in the Chicagoland area, starting a new job, getting up and running with that, getting accustomed to just living in a different place that I haven't lived in. Pretty bizarre. Watching the Cubs make their way through the MLB playoffs. It is crazy out here how excited people are for what's happening with the Cubs. So that's been really fun. And just keeping up with some of that stuff. So really cool stuff happening. Chuck, what about for you? I feel like you've had a lot going on yourself. There's been a lot happening with you.
Well, I've got to tell you what. First off, Chicago's not the only people excited about the Cubs doing well. This guy right here.
That's right.
Pumped about my Cubbies. And I don't know why you moved all the way out to Chicago, because I just heard word that was it Giordano's?
Giordano's.
Opening a location in Columbus.
I know.
I don't know why you hadn't moved all the way out there. We got your cool pizza over here in Ohio now.
I will say this, and I might get myself in trouble with the Chicago people, but I'm really glad for your sake that it was Giordano's and not Lou Malnati's. I might get myself in trouble. I prefer Giordano's over Lou Malnati's, so I'm making myself in trouble. But congratulations, you got the better of the two, in my opinion.
I like Gino's. When I went, I had Gino's East.
Very nice.
Lovely. Other than deep dish pizza, I'm now sponsored by Papa John's.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's a real thing. I'm still with
plug.
the Blue Jackets, still with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I've switched teams. I'm no longer on the Cannon crew. Now I'm one of those cool cheerleader girls that throws out the T-shirts. Except
no way.
You're a boy.
Papa John's Goal Patrol is what it's called now, and we're real excited about it. I actually got to host.
Do you have a very tight-fitting T-shirt with a V-neck line?
Well, I'll tell you what. Not the T-shirt, but I had to invest in compression shorts because I found out that the pants that I got create an outline.
Pretty tight.
And I found
way
out,
too tight.
I found out from a picture that is currently on our website of me, and you can see a whole package there.
I don't get it.
Yeah, just go to bluejackets.com/promo-teams.
Is it your pockets? Can you see the pockets in the pants too tight?
No, kinda. Like it's like there's a
like your kneecaps. They're showing your kneecaps. You can see your kneecaps.
That's not what it is. So anyways, other than that, at the Blue Jackets, I also got to host a couple games. And while I was on mic there, I was like, well, I'm on microphone. Every time I've ever been on mic, I'm Chuck. So let's stick with Chuck. And everyone was thrown off by that. But, it was fun. I enjoyed it. We're having a good time. We're just killing it. Hey, Gyro.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just living life, doing school,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Back in the band.
Back in the band, an everyday affair.
Dan, I gotta tell you, I think he's been an underappreciated part of this podcast already. Not a lot of folks hear Dover a lot. Now you're gonna see what Dover normally does while we're recording the podcast, which is get on his phone and text his girlfriend more than
All the time.
Yeah, well,
Or fall asleep.
that happened once. But you know, during the show, he may not have a ton to do. Getting stuff ready to go, getting stuff up, that is all him. And I can't tell you how much work he put in tonight. I'm already like shaking the table, and he's getting furious because I'm moving the camera.
Yeah.
Don't move the camera.
And so I wanted to give a big shout out to Gyro on the other side of the MacBook there. He is killing it.
Yes. We talked about this as we were sitting here waiting for everything to get set up. Like, we would be so lost. We would have no idea how to do any of this.
Right.
And none of this would be possible unless it were for his expertise in the area of all things behind the MacBook. So big up to Gyro for getting things up and going tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And every night.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem.
guys.
You're welcome. And thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for your hard work and your dedication.
And
But
thanks
you
to
know
the
what?
fans for
Yeah.
listening
Thanks to the
and
fans.
sticking with us.
Yeah, and demanding more. Well, like, I had somebody ask politely if we would continue. So that was enough. So we're back. And hey, let's give the people what they want, Jalen Rose.
Thanks, guys.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk hoops. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Guys, real quick, season 2. We have live audio drops.
Live
This is
drops.
so odd.
Normally
hey,
we
Dover,
couldn't
how
hear
did that thing
those.
go that we just did?
Wait, can you do that again?
yeah, I can do it again.
And here we go.
We can hear
It's live.
stuff. It's amazing.
We can just do it now.
This is the greatest.
This is what happens when your show goes to the big time.
Oh, yeah.
We get video, we get live drops.
We're killing it. We want to talk about what we're doing for this season. We've looked over all the data, all of the number points. We've been crunching the stats, and we are ready to make our predictions on what the NBA is going to look like throughout this year. So what we're going to do, we're going to break it up into a couple different pieces. First off, we're going to do the big stuff, the awards, playoff picture, stuff like that. Then we're going to go division by division. We'll talk about what we're going to do exactly with that later.
Yes.
So first off, let's get started with some of our awards.
That's right.
And we'll just hit right into it. I want to start out with the Rookie of the Year.
Got it.
These are guys
Very
playing
good.
their first games, first season. Let's do our first award here.
Let's get things
Dan,
fresh.
Who do you got for your Rookie of the Year?
Well, if you don't remember, some of the guys that have not listened to us all the way through, the summer we did a lot of what's happening with the Summer League. We did a lot of watching games, talking about games, diving into a lot of these rookies and talking about their games, how they've translated from college to the Summer League, and now how we're going to translate that into a full NBA season. So a lot of this is based on what I saw during the Summer League, and it may be a little out there because people kind of killed this pick when it first happened. My Rookie of the Year prediction is going to be Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics. So I'm going all in with Jaylen Brown. I'm going just completely off of what I witnessed during the Summer League, some of what I've seen during the preseason. I just got a really good feeling of what his talents can bring meshed with President Brad Stevens. I'm picking Jaylen Brown. I'm excited about the pick, too.
Do you think he'll be able to find the floor enough?
And that will be the tough thing,
Right.
is he going to make his way onto the floor in a wing-dominated roster that
Right.
Boston has put together? So
I mean,
the reason I'm sticking to Jaylen Brown on this is because he's going to bring something to the table that they don't really have in Boston, which is a guy that can rebound and bust out without having to make an outlet pass, without having to get it to somebody else. He can get it and he can go. He's already shown some of this during the preseason. He showed it all Summer League. He's got a fast break. Like he can get it and go. And in an era where we need to get out and go as fast as possible, as many possessions we can get, I think Brad Stevens is going to see that as a thing that he does not have on the floor and a guy that they want to get minutes. And they invested that third overall pick to him, so they're going to try to get him on the floor as much as possible. So I'm sticking to it. I'm going Jaylen Brown.
I think crunch time lineup for the Boston Celtics is going to be Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, Al Horford.
It's a great thought.
And that's exciting.
Not a lot of shooting though, which is the problem. We'll dive into this when we talk more Celtics, but
not a lot of shooting, but we'll get there.
Not a lot of shooting.
Don't jump the gun yet.
Yeah. I love that thought. I'm taking that in now. That's gonna be great.
But speaking of shooting,
how
are you feeling about your prediction for Rookie of the Year?
Oh well, I'm confident because I'm correct.
Good.
This is going to be the Rookie of the Year, and this is a guy who has the Sam Cassell's to start doing that. Honestly,
sure does.
I think we may rename our phrase the Sam Cassell's after this player, depending upon what happens. Buddy Hield, Rookie of the Year.
That's got to get a nice ring to it.
We may
You
be
got
calling
Buddy
him,
Hields for
he's
that
got
shot.
a nice pair of Buddy Hields. Like, I mean, this guy is, first off, the most confident person I've ever seen since Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
This guy,
Very nice.
like, he looks like he's going to own the world, and he wants to own the world, and he can do it. He's going to have all the opportunity in the world, which is what you need for Rookie of the Year. You need to be able to be on the floor with Drew Holiday in his situation where he's currently out of the lineup. The Pelicans have lost Eric Gordon, Tyreek Evans not having any sort of consistent health.
No.
Buddy Hield's going to be the guy next to Anthony Davis,
who's already struggling with some injury things.
Right. Well, of course he is. But, like, I mean, if you can get Anthony Davis doing something, I mean, you have a guy to feed off of, I mean, and to feed you. That, I think, is the perfect mix for Rookie
Question
of the
for
Year.
you. Are you worried about efficiency at all? And how could it could hinder his Rookie of the Year candidacy?
Michael Carter Williams won Rookie of the Year. So
very true.
I think Buddy Hield's going to be fine. I think
that was a different draft class still. Let's just flip. That draft class was a little different than this draft class.
Very true. But I think this is just going to be a guy who, I mean, give it probably 10 games and he's going to start shooting 22 times a game. Like, he's just going to be jacking him up because, frankly, that's what the Pelicans have right now. And so there's no way if he just doesn't take a single step forward, like if he can take just the single step forward from where he was at Oklahoma last year, I think he's golden. He's golden.
I like the idea of saying, man, I'm glad he had the little buddies to take that shot late in the game.
The little buddies?
Yeah. Man, he's got some pretty serious little buddies.
I like that. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Guys who've really made an impact on their teams this year. Well, I'm sorry. Hopefully, will make an impact this year. Coming off the bench.
Yes.
Let's talk about their six man of the year award. I have a certain theory based on what I predicted last year, and it didn't happen. So I'm just going to stick with it again. I'm going to do the same prediction.
Very good.
I think Patty Mills is going to be the sixth man of the year because
sticking to it.
You know, last year I was like Manu or Tony. One of them is just going to run out of steam, and they're going to have to find a new lineup, and Patty's going to be that sixth man. It's going to happen this year. It's got to happen this year. Like, just the way that they've been playing, the way Manu Ginobili plays basketball, he's taken 2 steps backwards already. And I think that it's time that Patty Mills gets pushed into that central bench guy. Like, I mean, that second unit, he's going to be leading it. We saw what he can do with the Australian team in the Olympics. Like, I mean, he was awesome.
He was fantastic.
So cool.
He had a couple of 30-point games. We kind of saw what he did when he was in college, the ability to really take over games with scoring. So I like your pick. I think it's really good. Now, here's my question to it, though. Do you think he's going to slip into the starting lineup too much to be considered a six-man candidate?
I think that may turn into a problem. Like last year, everyone penciled in Isaiah Thomas, just like he's going to be sixth man of the year, and eventually it was like, well, this guy's just a starter at this point. Like he's good. Like we're just got to play him. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think he will. I think that Pop likes having that change of pace coming off the bench, having that second unit guy.
Yeah.
coming off the bench. I mean, maybe if they get more than one injury, like maybe they can't make a move to try and get somebody else out there, maybe it happens, but I doubt it. I think that Pop will like having him off. What are you thinking, Dan, for your sixth man of the year?
So I wanted to go someone young. I wanted to try to go and be ahead of the curve with a guy, and a guy that is shown flashes and is still very young in his career. Really dominated the summer league, and in an era where we need long, athletic guys that can knock down shots to play all wing positions.
Right.
I chose Trey Lyles as a guy who is really going to emerge, and he will be that sixth man for the Utah Jazz. Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of times where, depending on matchups, depending on who they're playing, he might creep into the starting lineup just with, like I said, the nature of where the NBA is, the nature of where the game is going. You need more long shooters, and he is definitely that. As we saw in the summer league this year when he absolutely dominated. And I think that gave him the confidence going into this next season to really set a foundation in the summer league and then continue to build on that going forward with the Utah Jazz. A lot of young, talented guys there. They have a lot of depth at a lot of different positions. But I think Trey is going to be a guy that you look at toward the end of the year, like you had said with those second units, that is really carrying when teams go to their bench. He is going to be the guy that carries that Utah Jazz team when they go to the bench. First guy off the bench will be a key role, key player for the Utah Jazz, Trey Lyles, sixth man of the year. You were confident. I'm confident. Write it down. Trey Lyles, sixth man.
Well, quick transition. We were talking about how much we love this young Utah team. I mean, Coach of the Year. Dan, who do you got?
Well, boom, right into it. I went to Utah Jazz franchise people with Quinn Snyder as my Coach of the Year. Now, I could be a year early with this. I hope that I'm not.
Right.
Thus is some of the, ups and downs and ebbs and flows of having a young team in the NBA. But, and I hate to pick a guy that had an association with Duke to be the Coach of the Year. But, like I said, I think that these guys are young, they're primed, they have a lot of different lineups they can plug and play, a lot of smart things they can do with the length, athleticism, shooting. They have the ability to take the next step, and I think Quinn Snyder is the basketball mind to do that. And I'm sticking to it. I'm going Quinn Snyder, head coach of the year.
I love it.
NBA 2016-17 season. Chuck, you're kind of on the same timeline, though.
Yeah,
you're thinking kind of a similar thing.
I'm kind of afraid
Who do you got?
I might be picking a guy who's a year too early. But
Ooh,
screw
yeah.
it. Oftentimes, Coach of the Year goes to the team, or will go to the coach who's coaching the team, who takes the biggest jump.
Right.
I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are prime candidates to take a big jump, be a playoff team for the first time in a while this year. I'm picking Tom Thibodeau.
It's a good one.
He's got young guys. What does Tom Thibodeau do? He runs people into the ground. Well, you got some young legs there. You can run them into the ground. I'm just thinking Chris Dunn might get 42 minutes a game, like if he can solidify himself. Now, I mean, they'll also have to figure out what they're doing Ricky Rubio, but that's besides the point. Like, he is going to run these guys.
So here's a question for you then.
Big time too. So I love
knowing he had his year off and kind of he did a lot of like traveling around to different teams, practices, lots of different things. Do you think he's going to pull any of those tactics with rest, with being smarter about the amount of minutes guys are playing? Do you think he's going to pull any of those things he's learned over this past season and incorporate them into this season with a young crew in Minnesota?
Do I think he will do that? Probably. Do I want him to? Absolutely not.
Me either.
No. I want to see those the way he handled those Bulls, because if those teams kept Derrick Rose,
Healthy.
they were Eastern Conference Finals or Finals contenders every year.
Right.
Without a healthy Rose, I mean, the way he ran Jimmy Butler, the way he ran Joakim Noah, and the way he developed those guys into that system made them a great team.
Yes.
And without their star point guard, they still got to the second round. Like
they still gave the
did
Heat
work.
problems all the time with no players on the team.
Exactly. And so you got to think that Tom Thibodeau, with this pool of talent, he's got to make a big push. Easy candidate.
I like that he's taking his team to movies during the preseason. He's already doing that. Yeah, they went to see Birth of a Nation as a team.
Do they really?
Yeah, I heard that the other day. Yeah. He's doing cool things. I think the guys are buying into him. So I like the pick. I think it's going to be a solid one.
Well, we've been talking young guys. Let's stay on the topic because we both picked young guys for our
sure
most
did.
improved player. Dan, who do you got most improved in the NBA this year?
So I went with a guy who is coming off an ACL injury, but is a full 2 years removed from that ACL injury. So I'm going with Jabari Parker. I, again, hate that I'm picking guys that have associations with Duke. Oh, what are you drinking there? Because I can see you now.
Little Mountain Dew.
Oh,
I was trying to get a little product placement in there.
very
Just
nice.
a little bit like a...
Do the dew with Mountain Dew. Yum. Right? That's what they say.
No, do that, but like actually keep talking. Keep talking
Yes,
about
exactly.
basketball.
Yes.
And I'm
So anyway-
gonna just do this naturally.
Very good. It's a
Go ahead.
smooth transition, and there we go. Smooth. Anyway, back to my prediction for most improved. I'm going with Jabari Parker. Again, we talked about some of the issues when a lot of expectations are put on a young team. I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks had a lot of expectations on them last year, and they weren't necessarily ready for it.
Every single person picked them as a sleeper, which is they're
Right.
not a sleeper if everyone is picking them.
Yeah, you're fully awake if everybody's picking you.
Yeah,
enough
we
people
all
are picking.
know.
Enough people are poking you awake if they're saying you're a sleeper, so you're no longer sleeping. So I would say this is the year after that. So I'm a firm believer if everyone is honed in on you are the next team, you want that team the year after. So I'm high on the Bucks this season, and I'm high on Jabari Parker because of that. He's fully back from an ACL reconstruction. He's had the entire offseason to really get himself in shape. Lots of shooting, my computer just went dead over here. Lots of conditioning drills, lots of ball handling things. Again, we're moving to an era where we need like a 6'8", 6'9" wing guy to play the 4. I think that's going to be a great position for him. I think Giannis is going to do some really good things with distributing the ball to him in certain areas. So I'm going with Jabari. I think it's going to be a good year for him. And I think at the end of the year, we're going to say, wow, that's the guy we thought was the next big thing in the NBA.
It's coming from the same draft class. I mean, you had
Exactly.
guys like who's Joel Embiid was in that, Andrew Wiggins was in there. And, while that was happening, like leading up to that draft, you had a lot of those catchphrases like for tanking. It started
Yes.
with the suck for luck for Andrew Luck in the NFL a couple
Right.
years ago. And then they were doing rigging for Wiggins. And it was play sorry for Jabari.
Yeah.
And then there was make a scandal for Randall. I'm thinking Julius Randall. I mean, he was
Yes.
another guy in that draft class that had so much potential.
Yes.
Like that this is the reason that draft class was looked at as this is going to be one that goes in history because they have so many guys who are taking big steps. And Joel Embiid came on later in the year, and that actually pushed other big guys back. I think Julius Randle, he's going to have all the opportunity in the world now. I think he has an actual head coach. I think Luke Walton is basically going to turn him into the tall Draymond Green. I mean, Draymond Green's an insane athlete, and he does incredible things at every position. And I think that Julius Randle has a lot of those talents. I think that he needs to take another step defensively, but there's nobody else there. I mean, he has two point guards in Russell and Jordan Clarkson who are looking for outlets so they can get open. And I think that's going to be Julius Randle. Just because, I mean, that's a lot of what most improved is more opportunities, up numbers. I think that, coming off basically last year was his rookie season. I mean, technically his rookie season, he played one game and went down, was out for the year. And so, he spent 1 year in the NBA. This is his second full year here. I think he's going to take a big step forward.
I love it. You know how much I have a crush on Julius Randle. It's maybe sometimes an irrational crush, but it's a crush nonetheless. He plays so hard. He is athletic enough and has the ball handling skills to be a Draymond Green for Luke Walton. Like, he has that type of game. Now, I think the one thing that we need to see emerge from him is if he's going to play that Draymond type role for what Luke Walton wants to do, the shooting has to improve. His game right now is pretty much 18 feet and in,
Right.
attack the rim, go to a spin. He doesn't really have the length to stretch the floor. So, I think we're going to see, did he spend the summer really trying to extend that range and really fit into that role that Luke Walton probably wants to have him play like Draymond played. So I love the pick. I really hope that one pans out. That's one I hope that you are right. I hope that I'm wrong and I hope you are right because I have such a crush on him and I really want him to succeed. So good pick. I'm into it. Good one.
Well, I brought up Draymond Green. And so
Yes.
why not talk about Defensive Player of the Year? Because
Why
this
not?
is going to be hotly contested. I think this is Draymond's year. He's been second place for too long here. I think that this team, this Warriors team, was anchored really in Bogut as being one of their defensive leaders. And
Yes.
while we saw the versatility that Draymond had, a lot of the credit for their great defensive prowess was also put on Bogut. So now
Right.
Bogut's gone, and Zaza Pachulia is your 5.
Yep.
I think they're going to be doing their. Did you laugh at me
Yeah.
saying Zaza Pachulia?
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting? Oh,
It's
sorry.
really exciting.
I think that's almost as good as Durant at this
No,
point.
it's not exciting. No.
I mean, that was the big time signing of the summer. Who are we talking
Yeah,
about?
seriously. I mean, Zaza, baby. It's nothing easy. I can't. Every time I go to Zaza
Nothing
Pachulia,
easy.
nothing easy. We're going to Game 7. All right. If you don't know that, please look up Zaza Pachulia Game 7 on YouTube. It's the greatest thing in the world. Getting totally back on track here. I think this is going to be another team of great defense for the Warriors. And I think it's all going to be credit to Draymond. And I think that the latest Defensive Player of the Year, Kawhi Leonard, is going to have some new roles. And so he's
Totally.
not going to be totally 100% on the defensive end. I think Draymond Green, that's going to be like the one thing. Is like, look, we have Durant, Steph, and Klay Thompson. Please just make sure they don't score baskets because
Yes.
we're going to score a lot of them. And so,
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a lot of excitement there for Draymond on the Defensive Player of the Year. Dan, who do you got?
Well, first, I don't want to. I feel like we just left Paul out. He's a great
Oh,
defender.
right.
What do you think Paul thinks is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year? Hey, Paul George, what are your thoughts on Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA this year?
Here it is. Paul George. We like to play our game. There it is. There it ain't. What are your odds on being Defensive Player of the Year?
There it is.
That's perfect.
It is.
Man, Paul George sounds a lot like Lawrence Fishburne for Searching for Bobby Fischer.
No. It's Paul for sure.
That's
It's Paul.
Definitely
Definitely Paul
him.
George.
Look at
Excited
that.
he's here, though.
Look at that winning smile. Honestly, I'm surprised that we could get him. Oh my gosh, I have a story for you guys. Sorry, we're gonna sidetrack for a second.
Paul.
As
because
we
I'm
always
talking
do.
about the Pacers. So, as many of you know, I work for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh, you
We're
do?
in the shirt.
Yeah,
so-
I talked about it earlier, and we had a whole thing.
Oh, I forgot about it.
One of our big young defenders, his name is Seth Jones. He is the son of Popeye Jones,
Very nice.
former NBA player, played for the Mavericks. He's now an assistant coach for the Indiana Pacers.
Did Paul whisper that into your ear before we started?
No,
Oh, nice.
Popeye Jones was at the Blue Jackets game last night. And I've been a fan of the Blue Jackets for 16 years. So when
Yes.
I first got on the team and I'm like down, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, this is all the players. This is really cool. Oh my god. Oh, I know that guy. Oh, I followed him on Twitter. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I saw Popeye Jones downstairs and I went, oh, like I had to have my teammates pull me away from Popeye Jones. I lost my mind.
Pretty good.
Because I've never met an NBA player before, much as an NBA coach, and I've been
Yep.
talking about Popeye Jones ever since we got Seth Jones on our roster. I was like,
Yeah.
Popeye Jones has got to come by. He's got to be there.
He's got to be. It's his son.
I freaked out. I didn't know
Did
what
you talk
to
to
do.
him?
No, I can't because of my job. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't bother players, much less their family. And
Yeah, not
Also,
good.
if you were to talk to him, you have to give him a business card. We
Oh
don't-
yeah, I don't have my business card yet for Hackett Chat, so I'd have to give him that so we could get the interview. But man,
Totally.
oh my gosh, that was the
But
greatest.
you know what?
That was the
Until that
greatest moment.
time, I think he's probably coaching a little bit of defense for the Pacers, is my guess.
Probably.
So maybe bring it back to Defensive Player of the Year. prediction?
No,
What do you
no,
think?
maybe not. No, yeah, but the Pacers play in the Central Division. Dan, you thought another Central Division player might have a chance at Defensive Player of the Year. Look at that.
Back in the saddle again, Aerosmith. So we've been talking about this for a while. We've been talking about what Stan Van Gundy is building in Detroit. We've talked about kind of mimicking those 2008, 2009 Orlando Magic teams with Dwight was the centerpiece, and I feel like he has his similar centerpiece in Andre Drummond. I think he is going to be our runaway Defensive Player of the Year, especially to start this year with no Reggie Jackson. I feel like a lot of things are going to be put onto his plate, and I think that Andre Drummond is going to just defend the rim, rebound like crazy, and is going to really emerge. I've said this a couple times, but it really is going to emerge as one of the, if not premier, one of the premier defensive players in the league. So that's my guy, Andre Drummond.
As a trend as a whole for the NBA, for a long time, Defensive Player of the Years were centers. It's like who's getting the most blocks and then steals, and a lot of when Dwight Howard 3 years in a row, Tyson Chandler, and Marcus Gasol, and we've suddenly come across as like, oh, what about these wing players? And Kawhi Leonard has won it twice, and Draymond Green's getting a lot, and it's because of a lot of these advanced stats. And I think that Andre Drummond's going to be an amazing defensive player.
Yeah,
but I think that the NBA writers, the people who are voting on the voters for these awards, are wanting to look beyond the blocks, beyond the steals, looking at those defensive efficiencies of like, look, we have better numbers now. I want to vote for the better numbers. I want to look like the smarter guy with the better numbers. There may be a relapse back to that, especially if he keeps up the trend that he has been setting forth as a defensive power so far. Like, he's well on his way. And so, maybe his defensive efficiencies go up. But I think there's a lot of that. There's like, well, we have better numbers to look at defensive players. So I was like, we're smarter now. We're not picking centers anymore. I was like, well, maybe it's okay to pick a center sometimes. You're going to be fine.
So knowing that you were going to bring that up, that I was going to have a center as my Defensive Player of the Year, I actually have if we were to take a look at more statistics and look at more defensive things and how we're defending differently now, I actually had an idea I didn't put this in the notes, but an idea for who that person could be.
Yeah.
And it's another Golden State Warrior. But it's a different Golden State Warrior. It's Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Yes. So speaking to what you just were talking about, I think that his role is going to drastically change from what it's been to what it will be in this new Kevin Durant, Steph Curry taking the large load of the offense. I think he is going to be the best that we have ever seen as a 3-and-D guy, hands down. No questions asked. He will be the best ever 3-and-D guy. 100%. And we're going to see it this year. He's going to have so much energy on the defensive end that he is going to guard all guys on the wing and cause so many problems, and is going to just be fresh shooting threes on the other end. So Klay, I think, is another guy who is definitely a candidate. I'm sticking with Andre Drummond, but I think he's a guy who we will talk about at the end of the year as what if we looked at the advanced stats, looked at his ability to guard all positions, man, he was a problem defensively this season. So right along the line with what you were saying. I'm on board.
You got me daydreaming, man. That sounds awesome.
Right?
I mean, realistically, Klay Thompson, he's just not going to have the volume of shooting that he did.
It's going to be efficient, though.
I was to say, he's going to take 9 shots a game, but they're all going to be wide open. They're all going to be great shots. I think he's going to have a little bit different role in the offense, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, I don't want to drool over that too much now.
Let's go to the big award. Let's go to MVP, baby. I'm going to start it because I've talked about Kawhi Leonard already. I'm thinking he's my MVP.
Like it.
I think Kawhi Leonard, without Tim Duncan, this San Antonio Spurs team has to make a change.
Yes.
They're going to need help on the defensive end because Pau Gasol, good player, little older, lost a step, not the defensive player he ever was, and wasn't great to begin with. I think he's going to have an extended role on defense, but he's actually going to have shoulder more of the offense now as well. I think he's
Right.
just going to come into his own. I mean, this is a guy who's just adding another year under his belt. Last year was his first All-Star game. Like,
Which is ridiculous.
Is that weird? It's just so strange. I mean, he's just a kid still, and he's just going to keep taking steps forward. The San Antonio Spurs don't drop off. They just reload. And even with Tim Duncan, who is not just a great player, an all-timer,
Yeah.
stepping away, I think that they have another all-timer right behind him. I think Kawhi Leonard is going to be phenomenal. I think the Spurs are going to be a top 3 team, and I think Kawhi Leonard is going to be a huge part of that. I think he's going to MVP.
Speaking of huge,
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi Leonard,
Big old hands.
big hands.
I just
Kawhi Leonard, they like take up the whole screen.
I know.
But no, I agree with you.
Over the camera.
Kawhi Leonard is going to be fantastic. I am such a huge fan of his. Guy that just plays so hard on both ends of the floor, has developed into a knockdown 3-point shooter, has developed more of a game where he can take himself off the dribble. A lot of these scouts talk about when guys come into the league, can they take more than 2 dribbles to get themselves a shot? There are very few guys that can create their own shot off of more than 2 dribbles, and he's one of them. He has added so much to his repertoire since he's come into the league. I'm excited to see what he has added in the offseason because he's one of the guys that is adding something new offensively to his game every year he's come back. He added the little turnaround jump shot last year. He's going to add something more this year. And I agree, but don't fully agree with your MVP pick.
Well, I'm liking where you're headed, and I think Dover is going to be
like Dan's
very interested
pick.
where you're headed as well.
I like Dan's pick. better.
Dan.
Yeah, so I'll just come out and say it. I'm going to pick Russell Westbrook as
Yes.
my MVP of the league. Have you seen? Go ahead and put him back on. I wouldn't have known this had we had this before, but now I can see you. So I've made reference to the movie No Country for Old Men before on the podcast.
I thought you were going to make a reference to the movie Thunderstruck.
Well,
Better.
we've also
Better.
made references to that.
Which, if you've watched Bill Simmons' show,
Yes,
they asked Kevin Durant the question, "Did you keep in contact with the kid from Thunderstruck?" And I busted out laughing.
So,
Answer is
quick
second.
interjection into the lives of Charlie and I. One year for Christmas, Charlie bought me the DVD Thunderstruck that I
That's
still
true.
have.
Yes, we still.
I'm
haven't
actually
watched
looking at it on
together.
my mantle with DVDs right now.
We haven't
Anyway.
watched it together yet. We'll have to plan a movie. Oh my gosh, movie commentary by Hackett.
We could do it. We could do a movie commentary of Thunderstruck. I'm sure that would get
Can we do
millions
it
of
for like
listens.
Airbud too? Oh my gosh, and Teen Wolf.
Airbud.
Sorry,
What?
We
amazing
digress.
idea.
Anyway, movies. Back to it. No Country for Old Men.
Uh-huh.
The main character Anton Chigurh
Yeah.
is just a crazy person who does not stop until he gets what he needs at the end of the movie. Sorry if I spoiled that for you, but it's been out since 2012, if not even before that. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but it's been long enough.
Too late. Now.
So Anton Chigurh, just the entire movie, just slowly, methodically gets to where he needs to get to, gets the thing he needs, and no one's stopping him from getting to what he needs. So I have dubbed a little, quote, if you will, I call it Anton Chigurh mode, when it's like, you are not stopping this person from doing what it is that he is going to do, no matter what you do. Do you have shotguns? It doesn't matter. Do you have grenades? Good luck. Do you have a tank? It's probably not going to stop him.
Right.
Russell Westbrook is so angry.
Right.
And you can see it in the interviews that he's doing before the season starts. He is on a mission. And when we have seen Russell Westbrook on a mission, it is terrifying.
True.
It is like 50 point, 20 assist, 15 rebound games. So we're like, wait, people can do this?
Right.
Oh, I can't.
The
wait.
only thing I'm worried about with Russell Westbrook is he is going to play so hard that he hurts himself. Now, we have no reason to believe that this is going to happen because he's been relatively healthy since he's been in the NBA. A couple knee surgeries here and there, like knocks in the face. But like, even when he has broken orbital bones, he plays the next night with dents in his head. Like, the guy is a cyborg. He is not like anybody else in the NBA. And I think this season we're going to see such a highlight on what he is capable of doing. Add into the fact that they have the guy that he's been in the league with the longest as a teammate, say, hey, you know what, I'm out.
Right.
And really not even talk to him about it. So I think we're going to see middle fingers up the entire season. Can we say middle fingers up? I think we can say middle fingers up.
Middle fingers
We just
up,
shouldn't
fine.
do it.
We shouldn't actually do it.
We're
Yeah.
on
The
video
video
now. Yeah, video.
Yeah. I think
if I
he's
do
going
it
to, and
over
I think the
here,
first
like,
time he
don't
walks
Don't
into
do that to
Oracle,
me.
You can't
it's just
see
going to
it.
be,
Nobody can see it.
you can see it.
That's the magic of video. Stop it.
Pretty snazzy. I think the first time he walks into Oracle, he's just going to go to the center court and just full circle spin, 2 middle fingers up in the air, just
He's gonna
So
Marcus
ang-
Hall.
Or he's just gonna
Marcus
dance
Hall.
with Cameron Payne.
or he's going to, well, hopefully Cameron Payne gets healthy.
I hope so.
But,
Uh,
I'm
do
going to stick with Russell as my MVP, and I cannot wait to see how angry he is the entire season.
Do you think that there's anything to the fact that, Oklahoma City right now they're a fringe playoff team by all like metrics, predictions, whatever.
Right.
Do you think that that may have an impact on his MVP candidacy?
Good question. I think this may be the first time we say, did they make the playoffs? No, but man, he averaged 35, 18, and 10.
Right.
So we got to give it to him.
Well, it's in the time that he was pulling off the triple double after triple double after triple
Right.
double,
Yeah.
the team was 500,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
it was the cast that he had minus Durant when Durant was injured and he was putting up all those numbers. Now they don't have Durant, but he's Victor Oladipo, but he doesn't have Ibaka. He doesn't have Dion Waiters. I guess that's
Yeah.
a lot. I
That's
don't know
a
if that might be a plus. That may be. I
It's-
don't know.
Totally a plus.
So we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, so I'm sticking.
Yeah, I think it
but
might
you know,
be
like you were
next. I like
saying,
it.
fringe playoff. I think that helps, possibly lead us into where we're going next year.
Good call. I think we should talk about our playoff teams for this upcoming season. There's obviously 8 a conference. There's
Oh,
there's
really?
15 total
Oh,
teams.
that's how it
7
works.
don't make it. Thank you, accounting department. So how about let's just go through. I'm gonna go 1 to 8.
One day, rattle them off. No,
Rattle
8 to 1. Do 8 to 1.
8
Oh my
to
gosh,
1.
count it. Well, here's the thing though. When I get to 1 and I say Warriors, it's not going to be a huge surprise to anybody.
Good point.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise who makes it on the fringe. Let's go 1 to 8.
1 to 8.
I'm going Warriors number 1. Easy
Cool.
pick. Spurs number 2. easy
Agreed.
pick. Clippers, they just keep running it back. Number 3, why not? I think
Why
the
not?
Trailblazers, I think that they have younger guys who may take a step forward. Hopefully, I know I've talked about him 1,000 times. Alan Crabb, he's back. He's paid so much money. I'm a little worried about Evan Turner. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I think they're number 4. Dallas Mavericks number 5. You have Rick Carlisle. He could do anything.
Brilliant.
Timberwolves number 6. They're making their playoff appearance. The Jazz number 7. And this was so difficult between the Rockets, Grizzlies, and Thunder. I ended up picking the Rockets, and I don't like it. But
See, but you know what's crazy? When I did the original MVP prediction, I wrote down James Harden as my original thin slice because I think he is going to do so well in that Mike D'Antoni offense. And I
Right.
think that is going, and they have so many shooters on that team that I could definitely see them sneaking their way into the playoffs.
I think health will be big for Patrick Beverly. They don't have Jason Terry anymore.
Right.
No longer having Dwight. Maybe Clint Capella takes that step forward that a lot of people think that he has. I initially had him down as my most improved because it's another guy, more opportunities, just more chances, and I think he has good talent. I just don't know.
But Clint, here's the thing. They can pick up a guy off the street that can walk and chew gum at the same time and put him in a point guard, and he's probably going to get 14 and 10 because that offense that they run just is so helpful for the point guard position. And Clint has the athletic ability to be the Amari type guy in that offense. Super athletic, pick and roll, attack the rim. He's got the pieces to run up and down and do what he does. And I like the Rockets pick at 8. I think it's good.
You had a little bit of a different list here, Dan. Go 1 to 8.
I'm nervous about it, and I think we're going to look back at this at the end of the year and be like, Dan, what were you thinking? So the first 2, not going to worry about. Warriors will be our number 1 seed. Spurs will be our number 2 seed. I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the Spurs at number 2, but they're going to be
Top
a
two. Those are
home
the top
first round playoff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Warriors 1, Spurs 2, and this is where we're going to look back and say, Dan, are we
Yeah,
sure?
Dan.
Are you sure that you want to go here? I'm going to go the Utah Jazz as our 3
I don't know
seed.
about that one.
Dover even is sitting there going, I don't know.
I don't know.
Exactly, and Dover's the genius. He's
true.
actually
He's
been
the
a genius.
he's
So
the
if he's
only
skeptical, then probably not a smart move for me. But I'm sticking to it. I'm going to put the Jazz in at number 3. The big move there was George Hill. And what did we talk about all year with this team? If they just had an adult that could play point guard, they would be in a really good spot. They have that adult that can play point guard. He can defend. He can knock down shots. He can put guys in position. They have all of the pieces. I think they're going to make a really big jump this year. I'm picking the Utah Jazz. And a lot of people out there, a lot of the pundits, a lot of people talking about this are picking the Utah Jazz. I don't know that they're picking them like I'm picking them.
Nope.
Which
No, no.
is
No, they're
probably
not.
crazy.
Well, I got to tell you, Bill Simmons stole our cat. We talk about adult point guards quite a bit, and he was talking about the Jazz and referred to George Hill as an adult point guard. And I was like, "Excuse me,
He's
at
listening.
At least
He's
give me
listening.
credit for that." But yeah,
Shout out to the Hackett Chat, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Simmons.
I had the Jazz in at 7. I definitely think they're going to take a step forward.
Yeah.
It depends on what their bench does. See what Dante
We'll keep
Exum
going.
is made of.
We'll
you
keep
know?
going here.
keep moving.
I've got the Clippers at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Big worry there is health, and they don't really have anybody that can play the small forward position. I'm going to have the Blazers at 5. Same
Mm-hmm.
reasons you had. The only worry there is that they've paid all of their guys now.
Right.
So they still play with the same hunger that they've had
Right. Mm-hmm.
Before they got their contracts. I still like Al Farouk Amino at 10. I think he's a fantastic keep for them.
Yep.
I'm going Timberwolves at 6. You've got that youth. You've got a very good coach. The worry there is depth. Again, I'm putting them in. I don't know that's going to be the case. Grizzlies at 7. New coach. Lots of the similar guys back. Health is going to be the big thing with them, but if you keep those guys healthy, they are savvy, they are veterans, they know how to play in a group. I like it with the new fresh approach to it. And then I'm sticking to my MVP prediction, sneaking his team into the playoffs and putting the Oklahoma City Thunder at 8.
There it is.
Very nice.
So I was excited about the Thunder getting in there. The two differences we had, you had the Grizzlies and Thunder, and I switched those out for the Mavericks and Rockets. Clearly, you don't believe in Rick Carlisle, and Rick Carlisle will
Which is not true. I do believe Rick Carlisle.
No,
I just don't
clearly
believe in
you
Harrison
believe
Barnes.
in Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut, and an aging Darren Williams. And
Williams?
I think that we look at that and go, ooh, I don't know. And Rick Carlisle looks at that and goes, 57 wins.
Yes. I am brilliant, and I am better at all of you. So
I got
yes,
this.
I like it.
We'll see what happens, and we'll get more in depth with the Mavericks. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference. Dan, go ahead. You hit it 1 to 8. What do you got?
So I've got Cavs. I mean, they're still loaded. They are the defending champions. They have everybody back. The question is, do they come back with the hunger of, hey, we want to win a title? They had the, hey, we got to win one. Do they still come back with the same? They've been partying all summer. I still don't know if J.R. Smith's put a shirt on. He has a contract now. We don't know if he has a shirt on.
And we looked at, some of these LeBron teams have been just like, let's get, a top 4 seed and move on. We saw the Atlanta Hawks team get 60 wins. We saw the Pacers get the number 1 seed a couple years ago. Maybe the Cavs are just like, well, let's get to the playoffs and then we'll figure it out from there.
Key addition there, we'll talk more about it. Chris Anderson. Everyone loves him. Everyone is all about him. He is on that team now. I think it's going to be a fantastic fit for that entire crew.
Mario Chalmers in talks as well. I don't know if you saw
Also,
that one.
What?
Oh,
lots of
Dover hadn't heard that.
cool
Yes.
things
I heard
happening
that.
with the Cavs.
Mario Chalmers, love it.
Go down to 2. Indiana Pacers. You may think I'm crazy here, putting them a little high, but I really like what they put together.
Paul doesn't think you're crazy.
Paul?
No, Paul.
What do you think
think
about the chances of the Pacers being a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference?
There it is.
Loves
He's
it.
right. He's
loves
right, man. Does Paul say anything else? We may have to see.
Not right now.
No.
He's very
Not
nervous. We just gave him one phrase to practice over and over again, and he's just nailing that. I have the Pacers
Killing
in
it.
the top 4 too, so I like it. Keep going.
Yep. So we'll keep going. I got the Raptors at 3.
Yep.
Celtics at 4.
Love it.
Pistons at 5.
Awesome.
And this is one that I'm worried about. New York Knicks at 6. Atlanta Hawks at 7. And one you and I definitely disagree on. I have the Orlando Magic in at 8.
Yeah. So
Not a smart pick, but I'm doing it anyway.
I love it. That's bold. I went. We have the same top 4, just not in the same order. I went Cavs, Raptors, Celtics, Pacers. So we've got that going on. You had the Knicks at 6. I have the Knicks at 5.
Wow.
Super team, man. Super team. I want this team to be so
They've got the
good,
best player in the NBA,
bad.
so
Yeah, seriously. They have Kristaps Porzingis.
exactly.
Yeah, and well, it doesn't really matter. No,
Because they've got him.
they've got him. I got the Hawks at 6. It's Coach Bud thing. Like, honestly, like, you give me just about any 12 players. It's kind of same thing with Rick Carlisle. Like, I think Coach Bud is one of those just really great basketball minds. I hope. We'll see what happens with Schroeder. I have the Bulls at 7. I just think that there's too much raw talent to not be in the playoffs.
Yes.
And I think that Dwayne Wade might actually murder people if he's not in the playoffs. I think that's like a thing.
That's not that funny in Chicago. Let's just keep it that way.
Charlie, what do you
I'm joking.
do?
So the Pistons, number 8. I think the Pistons could be there at number 8. I think he's solid. He is solid. I got thrown off. I think Andre Drummond's going to take a step forward. I hope they get some help. I think Stanley Johnson's going to take a step forward this year. I just loved what Stanley Johnson
agree.
did in the playoffs.
Stanley Johnson was almost my most improved pick.
He
He
was
was on the list of short. He was on the short list of guys I wanted to put down in there.
Yeah. What he did in the playoffs and just the attitude he gave off, I loved him. And honestly, I don't love the Bulls. Maybe I'll move Pistons up. No, well, I mean, this is what I have now, but maybe the Pistons will take a bigger step than I think. The big ones that we had different were I had the Bulls, you had the Magic, and all the rest are the same, just in a different order and relatively in the same positions. We're going to talk more in depth about a lot of these teams later on. What we're going to do with our divisional breakdowns is we are going to have 6 different smaller episodes, like bite-sized episodes. Normally we go on for 80 minutes, and sometimes we,
Go on and on and on.
go on and on ourselves.
and
so
on.
we're going to put them into smaller pieces for our divisions. We're going to have specifics that we talk about with each team, players that we're looking forward to seeing, what we see for them throughout the year. Obviously, you have a good idea of some of these teams, but we still haven't talked about the Sacramento Kings yet. We need to get there. So
And we may even put a funny little spin on how we talk about those teams.
yeah,
Maybe.
and,
We'll see.
we're thinking about theming these divisions, and you'll see them as they come out. So look for our division previews. We'll be getting those out soon. I mean, the games start on the 25th, so we're gonna
getting there.
Try and get them out in the next 2 weeks. We're gonna punch them out. We're gonna get them going. We're really excited about getting the season started off again. And so we need season 2. I mean, it's our season 2 preview. We got to have the best segment ever made. It's time, Dan, for your time in the spotlight.
Which is not even my time in the spotlight. It's our favorite players in the spotlight. It is Keeping Up with Kristaps. Gosh, it feels so good. Can you do it again? One more time. Gosh, I love it. I am so happy to be back, keeping you up with what has been going on with Kristaps Porzingis.
Right.
Again, guys are getting ready. We've talked about over the summer how we heard he's going to do more things as far as, we learned that he is very good at stretching the floor, shooting the three-point game, and now he's going to learn more how to play in the post and be more dangerous that way. But as he has added all these things to the game, we have found out the NBA 2K people did not see it the same way. As with any professional player, whether it be NFL, whether it be NBA, there's always a disconnect between what the players think their rating should be and what the people that make the game think their rating should be. In this case, it's no different. Kristaps Porzingis saw that he was only an 80 overall in NBA 2K. Not happy about it.
Not good enough.
Quoted as saying, hey, I guess I got to get back in the gym to get that NBA 2K rating higher. So I'm hoping that throughout the season, as they add the ratings, that Kristaps gets up to be a 99 overall, which is where he belongs.
Exactly.
And that was Keeping Up with Kristaps. Back to you, Chuck.
That just felt
good.
Right. It felt right.
It felt good.
It feels
Felt
like we're
good.
back. We're back at it. I've missed this.
Yeah.
We've reached all of the information we want to talk about. Serious basketball analysis. So we've gotten to.
Serious.
It's time for our fun games. At the end of the show, we always like to do a trivia question, pitting Dan and I's knowledge against each other. So now I can see if he's cheating or not. Whenever they got this video going on, which I mean, he still could
He
cheat. I don't
probably
know.
has
What do I
been
know?
the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
have
was
known.
that was it. We don't know what you're doing over there in Chicago.
Nope.
So
Cheating
Dover,
capital of the world.
Yes.
you ready for our trivia question?
Yes.
All right, good, because
I've got a pen and pad out, actually. I got to get to
Are
it.
you
Sorry,
ready?
people.
I'll let
Mind your
Dan
face.
get ready here.
see, look, paper.
The topic is rookies.
Rookies. I'm gonna write down rookies. Rookies.
All right, and I'm going to write down my answer before we even start.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Question.
With a stat line of 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, and 9 steals, this rookie has had one of the best rookie debuts of the last 10 years.
I mean, I assume. Oh, in the last 10 years.
I already have mine. I'm ready. That was what I wrote down before we even did it. So that's my answer.
Uh-oh. Well, Dan decided to go with Penny Hardaway.
Oh, you already wrote it down. Okay, Dan, I guess.
I was excited. Sorry. That was my guess before we
Would
even
you
started,
like to
and that
have
stat
a
line
real-
makes sense
do you
for
wanna-
something he would have done.
Do you want to redo? Do you want to try again?
No, that's who I want to do.
All right.
And I just like him.
Okay.
I went LeBron James because, sometimes you just got to go for the big target and hope the big target gets it.
Well, see, the only reason I didn't go there, obviously because I wrote it down before, but
Obviously, yeah, okay.
I'm pretty
you
sure
made
he had
an enormous
25 in his first
I
game.
think
So
you're
when he
right.
said
I think it's
22, I said,
25,
I don't think that's him.
This
I think
is the most diverse stat
Oh,
line.
no. Oh, no. It's
No, you
no,
wrote it down.
No,
You
no,
wrote it down.
No, it's Michael Carter Williams, isn't it?
It is Michael Carter.
Fart. No.
Nice.
I had it. I knew what it was.
Guys, I really just wanted to make a Penny Hardaway reference as they are bringing it back to start season 2. I
Charlie.
feel like he's not getting enough love in the pod, so I wanted to bring it back. Anthony Penny Hardaway.
Your final answer was not.
I
What
knew it
you
was
said.
Michael Carter Williams.
Well, you still got it wrong.
I'm so mad at myself.
Life's hard sometimes.
Should be.
Good
Well-
question, though. I liked it.
Well, thanks.
I guess we can move on to the next thing. If it hits, I'm a genius. This is where we take our bold predictions on the NBA. We normally do it on a week-to-week basis. This is our preview. We're going to do it over the entire NBA season. One prediction to last a whole year. I already don't like mine because it makes me sad.
I love mine because
Dan.
it makes me laugh.
Go for it, Dan.
So my first, if it hits, I'm a genius, that we'll look at, at the end of the year and be like, wow, what were we thinking here? Pat Riley has added Dion Waiters to the Miami Heat. And Dion Waiters is going to make Pat Riley so angry that 26 games into the season, he's going to say, I've had enough with the NBA. I am out.
He's just going to retire.
Exactly 26 games into
But 26 games in, he's going to say, this is the guy that we have on the roster. No thanks. I'm out.
I thought that would have been Tyler Johnson with that contract. Holy cow. I thought you were going to be like 26 games, Dion Waiters gets waived. And I was
Nope,
like,
26
no,
games,
no.
Pat Riley
No,
cannot
Pat
stand it.
Riley,
He
Pat Riley's just
retires.
going to quit basketball because of that.
He is done.
Oh my gosh. Mine is along the same lines actually.
I like it.
I think that there is a seminal leader in the NBA who's been around for a long time, and his time has come to pass. I think Coach Pop calls it a day. Sometime near the end of this year, I think it's going to happen. There will be a time where they get eliminated from the playoffs in like late May, and he goes, "All right, well, that was fun," and you just walks out the door and he doesn't come back. They're like, all right,
He didn't.
is he? Where did he go?
He didn't say retirement.
He
but
didn't say, but he's not coming back.
He's not here.
He's
Oh.
gone.
Mm.
Okay. Everyone always said when Tim goes, Pop's gonna go, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And
That's a more
then-
legitimate one. That's a good one, I think.
Here's the thing, though. I think they may make some history with the person who replaces him.
Oh, Charlie.
We'll talk about that later.
That's-
We'll talk about
Talk
that
about it
later.
later.
We'll talk about that with the Spurs. Dover.
Yes.
What are we thinking?
I'm gonna go with the new power team in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of my new
Super
favorite
team.
teams. I'm gonna watch.
Oh
it.
my gosh, you have a new favorite team?
No, they're not, okay.
Well, a new team that you like.
A new team that I like.
Okay.
I think they're gonna take the Cavs to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Ooh. I like that one.
This is
They're gonna go
fun.
real far.
Oh my gosh.
Dover is bringing his "if it hits, I'm a genius" game at an A+ level right out of the gates.
Real far.
I like
Dover
it.
impresses me always.
Yes.
You know what impresses
He's the
us? The work that they're doing over at thegamehouse.com. We have gotten our support from there. They've done a great job. They've revamped their website. They've found new ways to show off our podcast. We're really excited about that. Check out thegamehouse.com. And it has sports ranging from everything professional in Major League Gaming and all sorts of stuff going on. Check it out, The Game House. It's got a brand new look. Gamehouse is HAUS.com. You can check out our Twitter if you want to be part of our chat. You can find us at hack_chat. You can email us at hackatchatcast@gmail.com. We also are debuting our Facebook page soon. That's right. We're on Facebook now, which is weird because normally people go from Facebook to Twitter. We went backwards. Still, doesn't matter. We're going to do it. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at Cleep3. Dover's on Twitter at JTDPerk. Dan doesn't have Twitter.
Still no Twitter. Season 2, no Twitter.
Yeah, Skype, though. So
Yeah,
you're
Skype
working your way there.
Just got it tonight.
Shout out to Tim Piscitelli. He created our music coming in, going out of the episodes. Check out his SoundCloud page. He's been great. Check out all of his music there. You can check us out on SoundCloud as well as Google Play Store, Stitcher, any third-party stuff you got going on, iTunes, and YouTube. That's right. We're doing YouTube now. Subscribe, rate, review, all those bad boys.
Don't
tell your
don't
friends. Check out our YouTube page coming up.
Dan is
It's going to be really
panicking.
exciting.
Don't-
What do you
don't
want?
stop. I'm even putting the 2 hands by my mouth so I'm louder.
Yeah.
You can see it.
I don't
Don't
think it
stop.
works like that.
Hey,
Stop what?
hey,
I
it's season
don't
2.
Season
Let's
2.
start it off with a bang and let's tell the audience what they want.
What?
They want to hear about Harold Miner. I've got a whole thing ready. I actually worked on some different documentary footage that I could bring into this to incorporate into the new look where we can actually show video
Charlie, the
now.
magic of
I have a
Why
whole
did you bring this
presentation
up
ready. There's a
this
PowerPoint.
late into the
I even did the
episode?
PowerPoint the right way with the dark background with the white lettering so people can read it easier.
We
That's
did the-
educational. Come on.
We did
Harold
the
Miner
whole
talk.
thing. We did the whole setup. I said subscribe, rate, review. That means it's the end of the show. We can't
We've
got
talked
so
about
much
this
more.
for months.
I know,
It was
we have
number
so
1 on the
much
priority
to
list.
do.
Talk about
The
Harold
season's
Miner.
in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks. We got to get.
Can we
to
do
it,
all right? Can we incorporate instead of keeping up with Chris Stapps only segment? Can I do it keeping up with Chris Stapps / let's tell you about Harold Miner?
No,
Can you
no,
think about
we're
it?
not doing that. First off, Kristaps Porzingis deserves his own segment. How
You're
dare
right.
you
Who am I
try
kidding?
and
He deserves
split
his own
that up?
segment.
That is the blasphemy. Close to
I
blasphemy.
can't believe I said it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, but I
I'm
mean,
embarrassed.
we don't have time. We got to move on. We got to do something else.
All right, I'm gonna poke it in from here on out. I'm just gonna start talking about it, and no one's gonna stop me.
No, but we got to. No, we have to go. Okay?
All right, let's go. But next one, I'm gonna do it. Next one,
Next. All right. All right.
I'm gonna just sprinkle it in. Next one.
All right. Maybe the next one. Well, until then, travel safe. Be good to one another. Ball out.